Peter, I obviously couldn't avoid making mention of the fact that you've had a difficult tournament so far to this point. Draw today kind of stabilizes things a little bit. Tell us your thinking process coming into today.
Well, I just wanted to play a game of chess, and like Bishop d3 is not much, but you know, nobody really has a clear idea what to do against the knight over these days, and Sam did not have any particular prior experience against Bishop d3, but he played what I thought, well, like I didn't prepare much, but I took a look at the file, and it seemed to me that exactly what he played is probably the sort of the sanest and the best way of replying, and true to form, Sam is generally well prepared everywhere, including lines which he, you know, by rights shouldn't be expecting on the day. And yeah, we got this really strange position in which not very much, I think, was happening at any point. But you know, the one interesting position we had is the one in which he repeated moves, I think, which is kind of curious. And I can see on your screen it says zeros everywhere, but it's very strange. It's like starting from here, I don't really know what either of us wants, which is it's a very confusing position to play because it seems like nothing much is happening. But I think it's slightly easier to play with black because, for instance, like rook c6, rook e8 is a way not to create threats, but maybe to improve, because not much is going on in the e file. But maybe if you double on the c file at some point, something will go to c4, and I think it's harder for me to imagine where my pieces are going. And I was, you know, considering my track record in this tournament in situations where there's a complicated position with not a lot of time on the clock, I was kind of worried. And honestly, I missed something when I saw Bishop d7, and I thought there is this repetition, which honestly, I don't think I'm better. I don't think I should be avoiding repetitions. And there's also the move queen f8, which is what I was going to discuss with you guys.
Before you get to that, our panel was surprised by the move h5. Were you?
I thought it's fine. I thought it's a very logical way to continue here. You don't really threaten h4, but you know, there's definitely some structures in which the idea of landing that pawn on h4 much later on could be an issue. And in fact, I wasn't very happy about having to play h3. I was choosing between h3 and king h1 in that position when I played h3, because you kind of have to have something as a reply to knight g4 eventually, and it's either stopping it altogether with h3, or you prepare bishop g1 as a reply. It's one of the two ways. And h3 was better in some tactical positions, but it also creates some potential dark square issues. And king h1 had other problems. Yeah, king h1, yeah, you had to calculate some things. But yeah, going into the final position, we actually kind of had a slight disagreement with Sam about that, because we spoke very briefly, and he said I don't think I can continue. But after 95, instead of after takes, where he played queen e6, queen e7, seemingly without you know, too much doubt, I think queen f8 is a very interesting option. And what I blundered, well, blundered is maybe a strong word compared to some other blunders I've made in this tournament. I wanted to go rook b4 here, and if rook takes c2, I think I have a very strong queen d1 move here, because rook b7, knight f3 check is very unclear. I really don't want to give up that dark square bishop. I think it's incredibly important for me to preserve the dark square bishop here. But I do have an intermediary move, queen d1 here, attacking the rook, keeping my attack on the b7 pawn, and also preserving, exactly, protecting the d4 bishop for, you know, eventual knight f3 check tactics. And this position I calculated, and I thought I'm, you know, not worse here at least. And then I realized that after rook b4 there is a very sane kind of non-forcing move. Instead of rook takes c2, you can play bishop c6 here. And in my mind, I thought, okay, this allows knight f6 check, so it cannot be good, but I lose the e4 pawn if I do that. And I don't think I have enough compensation, despite winning the dark square bishop. The knight on e5 just does such a good job of blocking all of my, you know, quote-unquote dark square initiative here that I don't think I can do this at all. And I think after bishop c6, Sam said he didn't think he could be better after something like c3. But this is exactly the structure I was going to mention, like bishop d5, e d5, queen e7, or rook c7, rook c7. I don't know which one is stronger. There's also knight d3 here, yeah, which I did not see. But even if we talk about, you know, the structural assessment of this position, you go f5, you double on the e file, and you start making progress on the king side. And this is like a very classical, you know, Scheveningen, I can't, yeah, I'm not in the right mood for this. You know, it's a kind of a running gag, me trying to pronounce Scheveningen correctly, but I can't do it right now.
You got to gargle first.
I know. But yeah, like I feel like I'm obliged to do it every time it comes up, but I'm just not in the right frame of mind. So like I think bishop takes d5 is a huge big threat there, and in view of that, after bishop c6, I was choosing between two positions. I can take on e5 and play bishop c4, or I can play. Actually, I think I can play bishop c4 straight away. So there's this position which I couldn't really assess. Or, somewhat shockingly, I think I can go bishop c4, because after knight c4, bishop g7, once again, unless I've blundered something spectacular, which I've done many a time in this event, queen g7, knight f6 is strong, so you have to take with the king, and I go rook c4, bishop d5, queen c3, check. And I'm, I think, just in time to recapture on d5, and I suspect I don't lose this queen and rook. My king is definitely the unsafer one of the two, but I think there's little enough on the board for me to to be able to start threatening some kind of c4 before c5 counterplay, so that some sort of simplification and draw probably results here. So that's one choice, and the other one, as I said, is to take on e5 and go bishop c4, which is quote unquote more ambitious, but could also be incredibly bad if black manages to stabilize. Because like currently, I appear to be exerting some pressure on the f7 pawn, but like what happens after queen e8? Let's say, I don't know, queen e8, queen g3, king h7 or something like this, yeah. Not blundering any tactics. And, my center could very easily just collapse here and I could be in tremendous amounts of trouble. So my issue was I kind of blundered that going in, but after queen e1, bishop d7, I don't think I have a particularly good choice. So I tried making the move knight fd5, with that as confident of a mug as possible, and kind of, invite Sam to play queen e6, which he did. Once again, I can see on your screen that Machine is not particularly impressed about queen f8 for whatever reason. But yeah, for me in particular, the way this has been going, I kind of liked seeing queen e6 there.
You were a last-minute replacement for Alexander Grischuk, as Dariush was also a last-minute replacement in this tournament. Do you feel like both of you have been affected by that for the same reasons? You didn't know you were going to play, you had to jump in at the last second, you couldn't prepare for the players.
It's not really that. I can't speak for Dariush, but with me, I think I do like playing in the, like when I told you before the tournament that I like playing these fields. I'm not lying, but it's incredibly important for me in particular these days to start well, and the combinations of, it's kind of weird in this tournament to complain about pairings, but starting with 3 blacks out of the first 4 against the top 3, like I'm playing the tour participants so far, not really playing. I mean, today was, I think, my first game against the fellow wild card. So a slightly softer start. Or specifically, I think if I don't lose to MVL, like my sort of general state of mind is just so much better compared that possibly that would have made some difference, because I don't think it's even lack of preparation. I'm just nowhere near playing anywhere. My best game is not this. Hopefully, I would like to think that this is
it's not.
Yeah, I would like to think this is not my A game, and yeah, the importance of a good start in a tournament like this, really, for me, I think for everybody, but for me in particular, just cannot be overstated. It's just, it makes such a huge difference.
Yes, any questions?
No, other than, Peter, enjoy your rest day, recharge the batteries, and give him hell in the second half.
Yeah.
What do you plan to do for the rest of it?
For a given definition of hell, yeah?
Yeah.
No plans so far. I don't know, whatever presents itself, really, Laundry is probably
very important. But also, you did go elk watching.
Yeah, but I don't think we were doing that again. I can't really force Alejandro to. Although force is maybe a strong word, because it was enjoyable, but
I like the elks. We had a good time over there.
We did have a good time, but we've done that. The check, there's already
checklist.
Yeah,
there's a few more things around St. Louis. I'll have to show you around.
Yeah, there's the. We'll see what can be done. Yeah.
All right, well, begin your rest now and then take entirety of tomorrow to get ready for the next day.
Thank you.